Good day to you and welcome to the 20th day of April 2023. My name is Cyril Aloysius and I'm saying a big thank you to you for joining me on another interesting episode of the newspaper review here on TAF TV. Mr. Victor Sioku is the person, once again, as always, as usual, to look at the papers with me today. Mr. Victor, you're welcome to join me.
Thank you, sir.
How do you do? How do you feel today?
I'm all right, but I wasn't with you yesterday. Thank you.
All right. So today we shall be looking starting first by looking at the Vanguard newspaper, where we have some interesting headlines. This one on page 5 says, Tinubu Fintiri seek police inquest into Adamawa polls. Tinubu Fintiri seek police inquest into Adamawa polls. That story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And on page 8 of the Vanguard, we have, on page 9, I beg your pardon, why 3,298 inmates are on death row in Nigeria, according to a prison service. Why 3,298 inmates are on death row in Nigeria. It's according to prison inmates on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Over now to the world of sports on page 46. This one says, Flying Eagles yet to be paid their qualifying bonuses. Okay, that's on page 46 of the Vanguard. And on page 9, we have due judicial process will be followed on RRMA NNPCL matter, according to Buhari. This is Buhari saying on page 9. He says, due judicial process will be followed on RRMA NNPCL matter. That story is on page 9 of the Vanguard. On page 29, we have Eid al-Fitr, Sultan of Sokoto urges Muslims to watch for new moon. Sultan of Sokoto urges Muslims to watch for new moon. That story is on page 29 of the Vanguard. And on page 11 of the Vanguard, we have Ohaneze fumes over Kanu's detention, ailing health. Ohaneze fumes over Kanu's detention, ailing health. That story is on page 11 of the Vanguard. On page 29, we have insecurity. 1,266 killed, 4,973 kidnapped in 15 months, according to Kaduna government. That story is on page 29 of the Vanguard newspaper. And on page 19, we have energy poverty. Energy poverty. Over 60% of Nigeria's population lack power. Energy poverty, over 60% of Nigeria's population lack power, according to NLNG on page 19 of the Vanguard. And on page 8, we have crude oil exports. Crude oil exports. Malawi allegedly paid $200 million as whistleblower fees, according to reps on page 8 of the Vanguard. And lastly, here still on page 8, we have DMO dismisses default claims on China loan payment. DMO dismisses default claims on China loan payments. That story is on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. All right, that's it for Vanguard newspaper for today. Mr. Victor, please let me hear your thoughts on the story here on page 5. It says, Tinubu Fintiri seek police inquest into Adamawa polls.
Okay, thank you for that. But I am not happy that you did not even talk anything about what happened to Chelsea. But it's all good.
we are not talking about sports.
I was waiting for that, but since you don't want to talk
about I was just saying, yes, we all know Chelsea are out of the Champions League. And I don't know if you remember, but I can remember vividly saying that Chelsea, the chances of Chelsea progressing from the quarterfinals to semi-finals are slim. Yes, I said so, and as I said, it came to pass. Chelsea did not qualify, and it's no surprise to anyone because given the underwhelming form Chelsea has been throughout this season, so it's actually no surprise that we lost by 4-0 on aggregate to a high-flying Real Madrid team this season in the Champions League. So yes, we're out of the UCL. Any other news for us?
No, I was sending my questions during your sports show. Okay. So now to Nigerian politics and
Tinubu Fintiri seek police inquest into Adamawa polls.
It is very, shocking and embarrassing that the president-elect, for the first time, is coming out to condemn the activities of the electoral offenders or assumed electoral offenders. They have not yet gone to court, so we can't start calling them guilty. Okay. Why am I saying this? Because we cannot shy away from the fact that his election or him becoming the president-elect came with so many questions.
Controversies.
Yes. And he has kept mum about it. Now, he's now acting like
A saint.
the Messiah, the saint, that will clear off the weeds in the system. As for Fintiri, congratulations to him. He fought the fight, but I am still of the opinion that for every person that, in quote, wins a political seat, that process should always be questioned and checked. Okay, we have had incidences whereby somebody became a winner not because the electorate voted for the person, but due to the person ranked above the other person.
Okay.
Okay. So in all situations that we face now, I think it is right and it is important for the processes that brings these leaders to be vetted upon.
But what do you really now make of Tinubu's, Tinubu's activities currently? Do you think that Tinubu should have just kept quiet at least until his inauguration?
No. We need every opinion leaders to come in and
Because a lot of people now see his actions now as more like pot trying to call kettle black.
well, some persons are also looking at it from that angle. Is when you start asking the question of one, people are asking where he is, and we don't know where our president-elect is. And mind you, being called a president-elect means that you are a government property, more like. So you should give account of where you are. So that issue of what has happened or what was happening during the Buhari's early and mid regime, whereby Nigerians will just be asking, where's our president? Where's our president? It has started happening.
Even before his inauguration.
Exactly. And when people also ask questions about, okay, some controversies surrounding you, come and clear yourself up, like the most recent one, which is about him having dual citizenship.
So does that spell scary times for Chelsea, for Nigerians? I don't know. I'm still thinking about the elimination from the UCL. What?
I'm sorry.
It's actually heartbreaking.
PTSD.
It's giving me nightmares.
Trust your doctor.
I think I need to see a psychologist right now because it's really giving me nightmares. Chelsea, why? Please. Mr. Victor, please don't make me laugh any further. I don't want to laugh in today's show. There's nothing funny about Nigeria. There's nothing funny about Nigeria right now. Nothing funny about the Chelsea fan this period. Please and please. Yes. So does it spell scary times for Nigerians?
Yes, because he's showing those threats that we were scared of, especially people like me that we were scared of, whereby your president is being questioned about things and he's nowhere to be found and he's mute about it. So in terms of the controversy about having a double passport, okay, being a citizen, okay, and having a diplomatic passport from Guinea, he hasn't answered anything about it, and he's now sending out a letter about an incident that happened way before he was asked that question. Okay, so he's more like selecting the questions that he will answer. That's one. We also saw a video of where Tinubu, Sanwo-Olu, that's the governor of Lagos State, and one Diara of Guinea. So that video, okay, that video spread a whole lot of things. Yes, it is not concrete, okay, but it spread a whole lot of things. One, the video showed that the private jet or helicopter that Tinubu, Sanwo-Olu, and the government official or the Guinea president's ally, they were all together. So remember, the question has been, You and the Guinean president are allies and friends. He gave you, could it be that he gave you that diplomatic passport / citizenship, and you don't want to tell your country? And remember what we talked about the last time about the EC form, where you must, the INEC form, where you must state the citizen, your citizenship status, which is stated that it was just a Nigerian and nothing more, nothing less.
But Mr. Victor, you know, silence, they say, speaks volumes in most cases. And in this case of Tinubu's, yes, it hasn't yet been proven if actually the whole allegations placed on him concerning the Guinea citizenship saga is actually correct or not. But Tinubu's silence about it so far might actually be saying so much about the fact that just maybe all these allegations are true. Because there's no way you see such a thing happening. You know, your name is under serious allegations and you are not coming out in any way to try and clear your name and do things to clear the minds of Nigerians, to reaffirm them of the fact that your hands are clean. Then maybe, I don't know, but maybe I think Nigerians need to be scared.
See, I'm a spectator when it comes to calling out names, especially calling Tinubu a drug dealer. I do not associate myself with that. I try not to associate myself with that story or that classification of him, okay? Or people classify him to be a drug baron. But the latest information that came out, I started reasoning. Okay, let me keep it that way. Reasoning that could there be some element of truth? Yet it has not been proven. But could there be some elements of truth? Because this person I'm telling you, that government official I'm telling you, has been questioned, and not that he has been convicted of drugs, of drug-related offenses, but his name has been, will I say, around drug trafficking.
The government official for Guinea?
No, the ally that Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu were together in the private jet of Guinean president.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Okay.
And when you see, they say, show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. So when you see those kind of associations, you begin to wonder, this person has been, was he really charged or has been investigated? Not once, not twice. Okay, with drug-related offenses. Yes, he escaped being hit to the board. Okay, because there was one particular case whereby the evidence, they were caught with evidence, but by the time they came back to prosecute them with the evidence was nowhere to be found. But that's a different story altogether. But lastly, what I'm trying to say is that Tinubu rushing to make comments about the Adamawa polls and leaving aside some pressing issues regarding his status does not really make sense from my own point of view.
I think that doesn't really make sense from every reasonable Nigerian's point of view. But let's keep our fingers crossed and see what happens at the end of the day. If actually Tinubu would really address that issue, or he's just going to pretend like nothing ever happened till his inauguration on the 29th of next month. Okay, taking you straight to our next paper for the day, which is the Daily Sun newspaper. We shall be looking at headlines here in Daily Sun. This one on page 6 says 10th NAS leadership. 10th NAS leadership. Plot to undermine rules on ranking thickens. Plot to undermine rules on ranking thickens. Okay, the details of that headline is on page 6 of Daily Sun. And on page 6, still on page 6, we have new twist in APC crisis. New twist in APC crisis. Northwest Vice Chairman Lukman issues an ultimatum to Adamu to summon NWC on Omishore. Okay, that's on page 6 as well. And on page 23, here we have strike. NAS directs minister to halt demolition of aviation agency offices. NAS directs minister to halt demolition of aviation agency offices. Okay, that's on page 23 of Daily Sun. And on page 27, we have setting up medical varsity, one of Iwuanyanwu's greatest achievements, says VC. Setting up medical varsity, one of Iwuanyanwu's greatest achievements, says VC on page 27 of Daily Sun. And on page 8, again, we have Tinubu urges police to probe Adamawa Gober poll controversy. Okay, you already read this before in the previous paper. And on page 6, we have Ramadan. Sultan directs Muslims to look out for moon from today. Ramadan, Sultan directs Muslims to look out for moon from today. Federal government declares Friday, Monday public holidays. Okay, that's on page 6. And on page 4, we have 3,298 inmates on death row in prisons as governors fail to sign warrants. That's on page 4. And still on page 4, we have we will appeal judgment voiding RRM's removal as NNPC board chair, says Buhari on page 4. And on page 27, we have presidency attacks autumn, accuses governor of politicizing security, says Benway in ICU. That story is on page 27. And lastly, the Daily Sun for today, still on page 27, this one says whistleblower recoveries. Reps panel queries alleged $200 million consultancy fees. That story is on page 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Okay, that's the much we can take on the Daily Sun for today. Mr. Victor, please, I would like to get your thoughts on this news concerning inmates that are on death row. On page 4, it says 3,298 inmates on death row in prisons as governors fail to sign warrants.
Yeah, so what is happening is that since 2016, it has not been really recorded that anybody on death row, or we call them, or formally we call them condemned criminals, CC. But due to the law, the law was reversed in 2019 or 2021. Okay, that there were some reforms in the prison. I wanted to say prison ministry because of I have some hands in prison ministry in my church. So it was changed to correctional facility. Okay, I'm no longer called prisons. Okay, so now you have 3,298 inmates ready for the gun or ready to be killed. Okay, so but why they have not been killed is mainly because the governors are the ones to write the final notice for that to happen. So, but many governors do not want their names to be soiled. Because why? Because we also have a human rights activists on their head that if such happens, they might go out and hit them so hard, and yeah, it might affect their political career. Okay, so they try to distance themselves of that. Okay. Well, that's that. It's a very sensitive topic to talk about, but notwithstanding, in a way, many a times when you see these criminals, if we keep on not giving them that maximum punishment, my 2 cents, okay, the decay in the society continues. And mind you, what are the major issues we are facing in this country? The major issues we are facing in this country is that crime keeps increasing, not because of just poverty, but because of no proper prosecution and execution of the prosecution. So, what then happens? People now do whatever they want to do, knowing that at the end of the day, they will go scot-free. And we also have incidences where people with might, people with vigor and connections might even put them in that category of death sentence, and at the end of the day, they might even come out from the prisons, or some rumors. Yeah, I tag it as rumors that we heard that some people get substituted in prison.
Wow.
Yes. So, but the issues for me here is not just about the death sentence part. What about the ones that are to serve some terms then come out? You find out that in Nigeria, our prisons are not facility for change. They are not training grounds for people. They are not institutions that change people's orientation to the right way. So what then happens? You see a criminal entering into the prison, coming out to become more of a criminal. Whereby in other crimes.
So our correctional facilities aren't really built up to the level of actual correctional facilities.
Many a times they don't correct anything. They worsen the matter. So these people come out and they do the worst. Okay. But in better crimes, what happens? You see somebody entering into the prison and comes out becoming a changed person. Okay? So what are my last shots here? The country should find ways to modify our prisons, both in infrastructure and the personnel out there. And brother, we need more prisons in this country because our prisons are jam-packed. When the government are building like the ones that is going on, I don't know whether they finished, in River State by Oguni Axis. Okay, I passed it the other time.
Do we need more prisons or we need more creation of job
As you are creating more jobs, I'm not saying that they should not create more jobs. But mind you, investing in prison is also creating of jobs. You ask me why? Because inside the prison.
Yes, I know.
Inside the prison,
you have people working there.
You have people working there. Then
yes.
You can also make the prisoners to become economically helpful. Yes, you give them things to produce. The ones that
so funny. I don't know why.
No, it's not a funny matter. The ones. What about teachers inside the prison? Prisoners that are teachers that will make money. Yes, because they offer courses. They write WAEC. They write all manner of exams down there. But yes, there are still more things to do. What about bringing in ICT inside the prison, teaching them how to code for the ones who get head? I'm sorry, not here to disrespect our prisoners out there, okay? But yes, the government needs to do a lot, okay, so that we can harness what other people are harnessing from their prisons. There is a whole lot of economy running from the correctional facilities that we have.
Okay. All right, so we'll go on a quick break right now, and when we return, we'll continue from the last paper and then we'll call it a day. Please stay tuned.
Hey there, are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
You're welcome back from that short break. Still on the newspaper review here on Tharv TV. We shall be looking now at this day newspaper, which happens to be our last paper for today. And headlines in this day says, this one says, Iwuanyanwu becomes new Ohaneze president. Iwuanyanwu becomes a new Ohaneze president. Okay. And this one here says, another one on this day says, Tinubu, police must investigate Adamawa Gober rerun, given attendance controversy. That's Tinubu saying on this day. I go again. Police must investigate Adamawa Gober rerun, given attendance controversy. I don't know why I find this headline quite funny. Maybe because of the person that's saying it, actually. Okay, and this one on page 12 says, Buhari seeks due judicial process on RRM NNPCL matter. Says Justice Ministry yet to be served copy of ruling. Sues for calm among parties involved. Details of this headline is on page 12 of this day newspaper. Still on page 12, we have DMO. Nigeria has not defaulted in debt repayment to China. DMO. Nigeria has not defaulted in debt repayment to China. That story is on page 12 of this day newspaper. And over now to page 6 of this day, we have FEC approves 1.535 trillion naira for rehabilitation of 700-kilometer roads under NNPCL tax credit scheme. That story is on page 6 of this day newspaper. And lastly, here on this day, we have NLNG. With decade of gas plan, Nigeria can catch up with industrialized nations. With decade of gas plan, Nigeria can catch up with industrialized nations. Okay, that's the much we can take on this day newspaper for today. Mr. Victor, please, I'd like to hear your thoughts on Iwuanyanwu becoming the new Ohaneze president.
Okay, that's happened. Ohaneze Ndigbo is more like a social gathering, it's a social political group that discusses and enhances the affairs of the Igbos. Okay, so Chief Iwuanyanwu, if you live in Igbo land and you don't know Chief Iwuanyanwu, that means you're not informed. Okay, you're not
current,
truly informed. Yeah. So as a young man growing up, the name was just hovering everywhere, and not that he was even a political figure. Yes, he did politics, but he wasn't really a political figure. Never had never was the governor of Imo State. Okay, even when Abia State and Imo State were together, he was not up there in politics. But there was one thing about him that everybody would count for him, is that he's a very ruthless and strong businessman. Powerful businessman for that matter. Okay, let me just a bit of history before we get into the details, please. Iwuanyanwu was working for a foreign firm back in the days as a young man. So the foreign firm were into construction. The foreign firm left and he took over the company. Can you see that?
Okay.
And he grew the company to the extent that from that company, that parent company, was able to pull out 20 companies out of that.
Wow.
Yes. And one of those companies,
that's
which
impressive,
you like, is Heartland Football Club.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I like that blow. You blow like a trumpet, like an ambulance.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah. He's the owner of Heartland FC.
Okay.
Secondly, he's the owner of Champions newspaper.
Wow.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So, from the business angle, we find out that he has the steel, he has the weight to lead Ohaneze Ndigbo. Ohaneze Ndigbo, yeah, he might be sounding politics. But you also need somebody of business background, because you know the Igbos like business. So that in issues where there are businesses to discuss or trade and commerce to discuss, you have a leader that can put in his 2 cents. Okay, but now down to the politics. The Ohaneze Ndigbo group, unfortunately for them, Igbos do not really respect them. Okay? Because of they have also soiled their hands in the past in dirty politics. Okay, so I hope that Iwuanyanwu will be able to bring people together and make that forum,
bring back the unity.
Yes, and make the forum a weighty one that people can listen to. And how do you even listen to such organization when they start making out projects, building projects? I'm not talking about just physical projects. I mean projects that will impact the lives of the people that they are covering.
Okay.
So we are looking forward. He's 80 years old, mind you. That's just the question for me. 80 years heading that group. Is he physically and mentally strong for that position? That I cannot really say here. But yeah, he's for me his age.
But definitely
really...
for him to be for such a position to be entrusted onto him, I think he should have what it takes.
I hope they did not also give him that on the basis of age. You know, Nigeria we can overlay. Look at what is happening to this man. What's his name? Apata of Labour Party. That that wants to, or is the interim chairman of the party. When he's making his argument, he's saying that I'm the oldest. And so
always
what?
making reference.
I'm the oldest,
age.
and so what? So I hope they did not use age, okay, to put him there. But yeah, that's a whole lot of work for him. Like he came out to say, that it's a big job for him, but that he hopes at the end of the day that he will reform the organization. I hope he does that.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor,
Thank you.
for joining me today on the program. I really appreciate, and thank you so much as well to you, my ever wonderful viewer, who have been faithful to your screen up until this time. This is the end of the newsletter review for today. Please don't forget, you can also be a part of this discussion. Okay, you have some questions to ask. Do well to drop them in the comment section of this post when you see it, and also do well to subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and turn on your notification bell so you can get notified when we come online and drop new videos. You can also check us out on different social media platforms. You can check us out on Twitter with TAF TV on Twitter, on Facebook with TAF TV as well, on YouTube with TAF TV, but on Instagram with TAF TV_NG. All right, so I'll say thank you so much for watching. My name is Cyril Aloysius. Until we come your way again next time, to enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.